stand your ground, hold the line. We have Five of Swords, the Justice card, and the Hanged Woman in reverse. What this can be talking about is our relationship to silence. Because the Five of Swords can talk about petty disputes or situations where communication's happening, but it's much easier to degrade one another. It's much easier to kind of shut down or cut out any details of the situation, to lack introspection. It's like we're allowed to meet people where they are. Hence the balance of the Justice card here. Because on one side we have, I feel like it's like nonsense. Absolute chatter. And then we have the Hanged Woman in the reverse. And upright, it's usually encouraging us to expand our mind. Obviously, to see things from an alternative perspective. But your energy is saying, I don't need to introspect anymore. I don't need to go deeper with this. I see things very clearly. And maybe this is just how it is. This is just the way things are balanced now. I no longer am sharing the solutions that I'm finding from this space. This is like I'm keeping quiet. This is a strong energy of not sharing. I do not want to share. But it matches the Five of Swords. However, the Hanged Woman in the reverse is a major arcana. So by default, it's more powerful than this. The five is not a stable energy. It's not an even number. This is a 12. Okay, so it's like you've been around the block with this several times. In fact, you know what this means. You know what this energy feels like when it comes at you. And what I also like about this is that with the Justice card, I do feel that we are aware that we no longer have to push. We no longer have to engage. We see things exactly the way that they are. As they're showing up right now, we're accepting reality for what it is right now. And instead of trying to enact change and force it, we know change is inevitable. That'll happen. But what we're not going to do is try to find a way to heal through this. This is already familiar. This is something you've already worked through. These are energies or relationships that you've already been thinking about cutting out, or that you've already decided to cut out. For some of you, this is blocking. Outright, you blocked. And you're realizing that, maybe I don't have to keep digging deeper into who I am and why this happened to me. It's like, I'm fine right here. And it feels pretty good to be in this place where I'm not making a solid decision outside of, I'm just going to be right here. I'm not trying to decide how I want to appear to other people in connections that just don't resonate with me anymore. It's very clear that disconnecting and cutting out is beneficial to a degree. Now, there's a lot of people that disagree with that. And they could even weaponize the idea of, you're trying to separate people. We're in a world of relativity. Where there's connection, there's disconnection. We have to engage in both. Just like the wheel will turn, we gain, we will also experience losses. I feel like we have a much better connection to what it means to disconnect or to experience losses. You're much more open to what you can gain from allowing yourself to just not keep deciding to go where your voice may not matter, to keep connecting where you don't feel heard. And you're just gonna be right here. Because you know you have the power of assessment. You have the power to decide. And that's what you've been doing. So then I asked, what happens? What happens if we hold our ground? What happens if we, protect ourselves in this way and don't engage in too many back and forths? Or if we do engage in a back and forth, we're speaking in a way that matches this Five of Swords energy. Well, We have the Princess of Cups, the Strength card, and then the Ace of Swords. Hello, that voice, that voice. The way that you communicate best, that you have the opportunity to really develop expressing yourself in a way that is, it's more casual, it's more playful, but it's more fitting of where you are now. It resonates with you. It also is inclusive of your emotions, your beliefs, your spirituality, your practice. And to have the Strength card, again, another even number, I'm just saying. To have the Strength card come up here, that's that inner roar. So the more you allow yourself to express, the more you are developing that voice, the more you are allowing yourself to increase the volume. This is about learning how to speak up for yourself. And speaking up for yourself and allowing yourself to develop that voice and strengthen the way you communicate with you and the external, you become the initiator. You see how it's like coming from you. That's you holding the Ace of Swords there. That is you deciding. And if this sword upright is about us having to exercise putting up that boundary, this is saying that, oh, you got it. You're going to know how to do this effectively. Because look at also what the Strength card is protecting here. Enough times, especially in the Luminous Spirit Tarot deck, we can see like the Strength card, it can be protecting a youthful energy. So for some of you, this is the part of you that's wanted to come out and feel safe, wants to play, wants to learn how to not just develop their voice, but to like sing life into their reality, to express themselves through clothing, through music, through just, you want to experience more joy. And the more that you allow yourself to just exclude energies like this, the more that you will be able to be your own defender. Like, if you see, like, if this like is like a social court, if you want to see it that way, what could be happening here is that we are dealing with others in spaces where it's like, try to cut you down or try to target those sensitive spots to make you feel bad for not showing up or for changing your mind, for even having an alternative perspective, talking back, disagreeing. There's this air of punishment that's coming from the Five of Swords in this context. But then it's like, I don't care. I don't care because you've done this before. So you're choosing to be on the other side of it. Instead of going back and forth with them, you're choosing to be the person who says, I see things the way they are. I see things the way they are. I'm not being emotionally or spiritually pulled into that direction anymore. Something is calling me to be here and be still, and I'm choosing to listen to that part of me. There they are. For many of you, this is how you can learn how to protect yourself, is by saving this. As I say all the time, my wonderful friend Emma Kate, she reminded me, there's a benefit to being quiet for yourself. And when many of you are preserving your energy, preserving your voice, you're not screeching and over, engaging with people to the point that it's, you start to affect this instrument here. Become exhausted. I'm not doing this anymore. This roar doesn't always mean that we're shouting. Sometimes this roar is, I said what I said. I said what I said. Or it's, I'm going to choose to be quiet instead. Or I'm going to choose not to say, no, thank you. Because from this perspective, upright, this is the ability to see the masks taken off. This is your ability to see past what is right in front of us. You can see deeper than this. And because of that, with the Strength card here, being able to go within and hear that inner voice, hear what's going on, connect with what's going on. Many of you are now exercising your strength by knowing that even though you see it, even though you could easily clock somebody or clock a space for what it's really doing, are you going to do that? Many of you are excellent at pattern recognition, and you know very well how you could tear somebody down by saying what you see, by repeating their patterns, by repeating things that they've engaged with in the past, whether it's regarding you or how they treat other people or the environment or just their overall beliefs and perspectives. You could just read them down. But should you? That's going to be up to you. Here's my advice for enough of you. We are in a time of preserving and nurturing our energy. So even though you can see it, again, doesn't mean that you need to react to it. And with people that don't like boundaries, it's because they're trying to step over them. And you know the game. You know what's up. That's why the Hanged Woman in reverse is that's shown up as your energy the most. All right. So despite what you may have been seeing since you were young, despite the things that you may hear internally or want to say, the different ways that you may want to exercise the strength, you know how to choose wisely. You know when it's going to be appropriate to speak up. You know when it's going to be appropriate to stand your ground and then communicate that directly communicate that. Because there's a reason behind it. Our minds need a reason. And to protect that version of us that has been calling to us for a long time, that's enough of a reason for us to consult and say, I got you. And then I'm going to allow myself to communicate the most effective way to make sure that you remain protected. So what? You can continue to feel open to joy. Continue to feel open to what is there, what is coming to you, what is attractive to you. Continue to feel safe enough to express yourself. And to just go after what you want. To explore that. To explore your sensitivity. You know how this Ace of Swords can turn out for you. You know if it's going to put you in, going to keep you in that Hanged Woman in reverse energy, or if it's going to teeter into that Five of Swords. You know. I'll also say this. A lot of you are really good at even finding subtle ways to communicate disconnection. And I will say this here, if you are feeling on the petty side of things, just be smart about it. Obviously, don't jeopardize, your resources, or don't put yourself in a position to where, you're kind of open and exposed, and vulnerable in ways that you wouldn't be comfortable with at this point in time. But speak up. Still, you can speak up. Still, you can be the perfect defender of yourself, and still you can find a way to develop your voice, develop learning how to say no more directly, or derivatives of saying no, learning how to feel confident, replying immediately, blocking immediately, stepping away immediately. Because I'll be honest with you, it's possible that if this resonates with a younger version of you, or a version of you that wants your protection, they didn't feel like they could walk away before. They didn't feel like they had somewhere to go. It's like if you spoke up, you kind of got backed into a corner. Or if you spoke up, it just wasn't totally safe, and it made more sense for, you to keep quiet. Okay? No more of our silence being bought. Clearly, no more of that's going on. And you're in a space now to where you are going to be practicing how to keep up that boundary, and how to cultivate your voice, to cultivate that truth within you that wants to express itself. Because your strength is in how you show up for others. which means developing strength and showing up for yourself. Disconnecting is not a problem. Again, this is a world of relativity where there's up, there's down. Okay? Becoming better at saying no will absolutely upgrade your human experience. All right? So with that being said, I'm going to end that reading here today. I intend that this was validating. I intend that you felt seen and heard, and that you feel good about the direction you want to move into, even if it's just one where you don't want to make a major decision except for protecting yourself. You just want to be where you're at right now. You don't want to be doing too much of this or that. You're not in a place to totally make a choice, but you know you're also not in a place to go there. Okay. So if you don't know already, my name is Mayan. If you would like a personal reading from me, the information's in the description. I'm grateful that I can show up for you as a messenger, and I'm really, really thankful that I could be here with you right now. So be sure to keep the faith. I love you very much, and until next time.